Scientific name might be, whether it's ibuprofen or Tylenol. You then start going to acetaminophen, Motrin. Like you know what I'm talking about. So emotions is like energy in a bottle. Okay, I'm trying to use other words again. When I teach, I want it to be very simple and approachable. It's like energy in a bottle with a label, anger, with a label, happiness, with a label, joy. Okay, so those labels is language that the mind can understand. That's why I shared earlier that babies that haven't been taught ABCD, the only way they can express their emotion, what's going on in their body, is through emitting, right? Like expressing, crying. When they are uncomfortable, they cry to gain their, because it's the only language they have right now, and the language of the body is sensation. It senses, and then it vibrates as well. So these are complex things. And someone earlier was asking me, where do thoughts come from? And I shared that the mind, okay, in interpreting the sensations and vibrations of the body, converts it through language, and that's what thinking is. Okay, that's what thinking is. Because without language, and you think, here's the clue. You're going to think in the language you understand. You will think in the language you understand. Other people would think in the language they understand. So if you learn English language, you'll be thinking in English language. If you learn French, you think in French. If you learn Spanish, you think with Spanish, because this is something you picked up in the physical realm. You learned the language to interpret sensations, vibrations of the body, and so that you can speak it, communicate it. And so I also shared that people who don't have the skills of communication is because you've not learned how to convert your own emotions, vibrations into words, thoughts, right? Words and thoughts. You are supposed to learn, develop the communication skills and emotional intelligence skills to be able to process your own inner vibration. How do you feel when something happens to you and you're upset? How do you use your words to say you are upset? Because if you don't use language and communication skills to speak and communicate to another person, these are the unprocessed thoughts people embody. These are the unprocessed thoughts people embody. These are the unprocessed sensation. So you are angry with somebody, but you've not told them. You don't know how to communicate. You've not processed it. You don't even know the outcomes you want. So all of these things lock up energy in the body. So the part of the power of communication, those who communicate well, they also have the emotional intelligence skills to be able to articulate and translate, okay, vibrations of the soul, vibrations of the body into words. And when those words are communicated to somebody else, it can move your own emotions as well. You too can take in words and think it through, and it will land eventually in your body. It will make you feel a certain way. Certain reactions will make you feel happy. Certain people will say certain things, it gets you upset. Certain people will say certain things, you're happy, you're in love, on and on. These are advanced stuff, right? Very, very advanced stuff. But ultimately, I also want you to walk away today with this knowledge of your energy field, is that you are putting your body in your own energy field, and you are the one charging up your energy field positively or negatively. And so overall well-being is also tied to, right, emotions, because your body loves peace, love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, as the Bible talks about. If you want to manufacture that lived experience, you have to think positively. But if you're thinking negatively, you are giving your body pain. You are giving your body more pain because you are not thinking positively, you're thinking negatively. And it creates a lot of dysregulation in the body. So I'm trying to wrap this up again, but anything I shared gave you any aha moments, reflection point, thoughts, Miss Abosede?
Yes, coach. Yeah.
Hmm.
That's so deep.
Right. By the way, is a vibration. It's a vibration.
Mm,
You didn't use words, but your body emitted, right? That the sounds we make. That's why music is very powerful. That's why music is very, very powerful. So go on, please. I just wanted to reference that as well.
yeah. I love to be practical with what with my I love to use my experience as an example sometimes, right? I was on a project recently. I get to know. I start pushing it forward. So until this week, I was like, what's going on here? What is going on? Why is this particular project not I don't know, why am I not drawn to it? It's not like I'm not inspired, you understand, to jump on it. I don't know why. So later I now discover, okay, there's a particular thing I know. I think I'm not really clear about the method or the approach I'm supposed to take, to do the project.
Hmm.
So it means I'm not clear somewhere. It's just somewhere I'm not clear.
Right.
So because I'm not clear,
Mm-hmm.
I went on a pause.
Right.
I went on a pause.
So what if you take it a little bit deeper,
Mm-hmm.
you also need to start separating excuse me, you need to start separating what your mind is doing and what your heart is doing.
Mm.
So your mind could be trying to process it and tell you it doesn't have enough information to move forward,
Mm.
right? The mind may be searching for clarity. The mind may be
Mm.
confused because your mind is what you're going to use to create, to manifest, to produce, to do work. The mind is the one that does the work. So the mind
Mm.
is going to try and solve whatever thing you're trying to, anytime you're trying to do anything in reality, anytime you're trying to produce a result in physical realm, anytime you're trying to manifest and it requires you to create something, to create an outcome, the processing of the mind is going to kick in and the mind is going to try to solve it first. And
Mm.
when the mind solves it, it is now going to give the instruction to the body for the body to do the work. However, as the mind is attempting to solve this thing, if it encounters an obstacle and it doesn't have enough information to create the blueprint formula that it will hand over to the body, okay, that is to teach because the mind trains the body. The mind trains the body. The mind trains the body. So, if the mind doesn't have enough information to train the body, let me give you a practical example. Let's say you want to cook spaghetti, but you've never cooked spaghetti before. Your mind will now be searching for shopping lists. How do you cook spaghetti? What do you need to cook spaghetti? Where do you get the ingredients? Do we have all the ingredients? Your mind will be attracting. So I'm connecting this to manifestation. Your mind will be computing, trying to solve how do you cook spaghetti. Whenever you want something, when the heart wants something, the mind will say, okay, let's figure this out. To cook spaghetti, we need this. Do we have everything we need? If we don't, where do we get it? So if the mind doesn't have everything it needs to give you what you want, it's going to raise an alert with a reaction. It's going to warn you. How is the mind going to tell you the challenges or the obstacles it's facing? It's through its emotions. And so if the mind is scared, because it's the mind in its attempt, right, to navigate life, what it sees and its experiences is what is converted into these reactions of the body. So if it is seeing good things, it will convert it to good positive emotion. If it is seeing things as not possible, it will convert it and tell you the same. Now, this is why it gets more dynamic. When I talk about the EQ classes, the spiritual psychology classes, the human design, is that if that is all you have, the mind, okay, you're still limited because the mind encounters certain things that it cannot overcome. This is why emotional intelligence comes in and spiritual psychology comes in, is that you are supposed to then train your mind and calm your mind and speak to your mind. When we start talking about self-talk, positive self-talk, negative self-talk, is actually your conversation between the heart and the mind, how you're talking to yourself and how you're calming your own mind and how you are encouraging your mind to navigate life. But your mind talks to you with emotions. You also have to vibrate and talk to the mind with thoughts. This back and forth between the heart and the mind is what creates a lot of reaction in the body and dysregulation. Is that if you actually want to be more stable, you're supposed to be using wisdom to minimize the struggle of the mind. You're supposed to use wisdom to put the mind in a condition that it will not struggle too hard. This is the power of education, enlightenment. Is that the same thing you're trying to do? If you pick up your phone and you call somebody that knows how to do it, and you ask the person all the questions the mind has, and you get the answer, the mind will be happy. You'll be happy. But many people don't process this with wisdom, and they get locked in. They have a block. Now they are not moving forward. Now they are upset. Now they are angry. Now they're not moving forward. Now they're not calling people. They're not seeking advice. They're not solving. They're not helping the mind solve. Some of it could be the mind wants to eat more food, more knowledge. You're trying to do something and the mind doesn't know how to do it. It hasn't been trained. It doesn't have the information. It's like you want to cook spaghetti, but your pantry doesn't have spaghetti sauce. And you are beating your mind and I say, give me spaghetti. And the mind is like, where is the spaghetti sauce? I don't have spaghetti sauce. Like, you need to load up on the pantry. You need to go shopping for spaghetti sauce if you're going to eat this spaghetti. So oftentimes the mind is saying, you don't know enough about marketing. You don't know enough about sales. So that's why it cannot get you the results you're seeking. Right? Many times people are not training their mind to do the work they're asking their mind to perform. If you don't train your mind, you don't feed ChatGPT. ChatGPT cannot feed you. Right? If you don't read the books, you don't learn what is required to manifest the life, the mind is lost. That's why I say you cannot manifest above your own consciousness, above the knowledge you've invested in. You want to build a multi-million dollar business. Okay, where is the information and knowledge to do that work? You want you want to be promoted. What does it take to be promoted? The mind doesn't know. When the mind doesn't know, it cannot manifest, it cannot perform. So that back and forth processing creates a lot of stuff in the people. Like, it's just right. But what I'm teaching, I'm trying to make this very, very simple. And that's why the classes are so important. ToyinUmesiri.academy. It's so important for you to master these things and understand your emotions, your feelings, your interpretations of reality, how you make decisions, how you motivate yourself, how you lead yourself, how you lead other people, how you grow your business, how you attract people, on and on. Those things are included at ToyinUmesiri.academy. You can see the link. You can join, right? I'm speaking to those who are joining us as well. And Team Replay, yeah, check us out there. So these are complex matters. I don't want to overwhelm people too much, right? Because my classes gives you PowerPoint and points you to the different things you need to do. So in summary, Mr. Bosede, anytime you find yourself not moving, like struggling, slow down and decompose what it is you are trying to do and try and isolate the missing information, what you don't know, right? Try and boil it down to what don't you know that you need to know to get the results you want. Because when the mind does not know, it will not do. The other thing that creates block, and this is more advanced when we go into doubt, fears, limitation, is you may also want to, I mean, it takes a lot of courage, okay, and truth to say, is there something that you think will happen that you believe is unfavorable? The mind will stop you if you're processing such thoughts. So let's say there's somebody on the team you don't like and you want to get off. Your mind will listen to you. Anytime you see the person, it will be a block. The mind will be blocking you. It will be blocking you from moving forward because you already said you don't like this outcome or you don't like what this person does. Okay? Because you've charged yourself. So your mind will remind you of everything you believe, of everything you've said in private. When it is time to do it, your mind will say, you say you don't like this, so no, we are not going. Right? If you say you don't like spaghetti, when somebody brings spaghetti to you, your mind will say, mm-mm. Your mind will react based on your own vibration, what you've already told it and trained it. You've trained your mind in a certain way, and your mind will behave exactly that way. That when we talk about mindset, the mind will set itself to your liking. It will set itself to your belief system. It will set itself to your value system. So if you want your mind to change, this is the most advanced thing as part of my program. Many people are trying to fix their mind. Your mind doesn't need the fixing. What needs fixing is your heart, your habits, your behavior, your beliefs. Because your mind is just giving you what you said you want. So you have to go back and process, what are you really wanting? What are you really manifesting? And if you fix that, it's like your destination. If you fix that, your mind will reroute. So if you say you are going to California, your mind will keep going to California. But if you say you want to now go to Texas, you are trying to just turn to Texas. Remember, you've already set your GPS to California. So your mind will keep rerouting you and recalculating California. But if you know you've changed your destination, you're supposed to park your car and change the setting on your GPS and set it to Texas. And when you set it to Texas, your mind will now recalculate. But many people are trying to redirect a life in a new direction, but the mind is not cooperating simply because it's still taking you to the old place you told it you were going. This is why you need to be slowing down. And daily, you need to be recalibrating and telling your mind who you are becoming. Otherwise, your mind will keep recreating your past, who you were before. It will keep taking you to the old until you reset it and say, I'm a new person. I want new outcomes. I've changed. And part of that belief will change your charge. It will change your energy charge. And you start attracting new people at higher levels. Okay. Come for coaching. What can I say? Did that help you?
Yes, coach, very well. Very well. And the earlier we stop ourselves and ask the question, what is going on within me, or why am I procrastinating? Is it fear? Am I fear? Am I being fearful? Or is there any information lacking? The earlier we stop ourselves and ask that question, the better, because you may just see yourself, going on and on for weeks,
No,
pulling
not
that
just weeks.
particular point
Yes, yes,
aside.
yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
People can go 5 years with their business idea
Mm-hmm.
and never process their emotions and energy and never build that business.
Mm.
It's because of unprocessed emotions. Because once they try it and they are confused, many people also give up. They start this, they give up. They start another thing, they give up. They start another thing, they give up. Why? They didn't process what stopped them, why they stopped the first one. So that pattern repeats itself. Any pattern you don't fix, you start something else, you create the same pattern. You start something else, you create the same pattern. You five attempts later, you've not resolved anything. It's not that you cannot solve these things, it's because you're not processing your emotions. Because you've become it becomes an habit to start and not finish.
Mm.
These things are serious. It's so serious, it's so deep. That's why I'm trying to just put a little out there just to create awareness so that people will wake up. It's not consuming content, is not what I'm talking about. I'm saying your own energy field, your own being, your own self, your own belief system, your own vibration, the person you've become, you've charged up your energy field and you are living in the realm of your own energy, negative or positive. And that energy in of itself, laws of manifestation, will determine who wants to do life with you, who wants to hang around you.
Mm.
If you come close to somebody and that person is negatively charged, and the truth is that this person, it has become their identity. You've been with them 5, 10 years, they've not changed. They've not changed their patterns of thinking. And so that charge around that person, the person has not changed. So you come close to them, they're still talking the same way they used to talk. They're still being the same person. Their energy field is still negatively charged. They don't change. People that don't change is because they've not processed their emotion, because we're supposed to be changing, we're supposed to be evolving, we're supposed to be learning, we're supposed to be becoming, we're supposed to be actually becoming better and better. We're supposed to be ripening, right? And becoming more delicious. We're supposed to become more enjoyable to the people we are doing life with. If you are married and 20 years later, nothing has changed, your marriage is supposed to ripen and become more delicious because both parties are processing thoughts and emotions and they are becoming more enjoyable with one another. But if you are combative, it's because certain things have not been smooth. Like there's a lot of energy charge, and most of that energy charge is because there's no agreement. Can two work together except they agree? Is that if you believe certain things and you're going this way, and the other person believes certain things and they are going this way, and you think a certain way and they are going this way, and the other person thinks a certain way and you're going this way, up you are going here, I'm going here, that means you cannot come and align in one direction. So there's opposition. When two people don't agree, they don't believe the same thing, they don't act the same way, they don't have any common ground rules of belief, their mind will be processing these thoughts. Your mind is processing that thought. One person is turning left, the other is turning right. So argument. And trust me, it will create electricity. It will create you can feel the heat, you can feel the tension. It's energy charges. So that's another. Yesterday I was talking to someone who is married and we went deeply into all of those things, right? So it applies in all areas of life. What is disagreement? What is agreement? If it's not two people tuned in the same direction or in opposite direction, right? So if two people that are two magnets that are not thinking alike, cannot process each other's thoughts, that don't share the same belief system, you put them together, the magnets will repel. They'll push each other apart. Relationships break for this kind of thing I'm talking about. Is that you are going this way, you're going this way, the forces are going in different directions, so it tears it apart. But if you find two people, they think alike, they believe the same thing, there's commonality, what happens is they will attract, they will then, here's the beautiful thing, they will now amplify their charge. They become more powerful. This is the power of synergy in relationship. Is if two people agree, two people believe the same thing, they can think alike, you can finish this person's words, you are like, you are flowing. Your charge plus their charge will be amplified. Two people which, right, one person will chase 1,000, two will chase 10,000. Is that the power of unity? The power of unity is that your energy and your thoughts can collide and unite and can be used to produce bigger results and bigger impact in life. It's the same thing. But if you don't agree, there is your magnetic field will repel each other and usually it tears relationship apart. This is advanced stuff. Again, welcome to to advanced stuff. We're going there. So this is something you apply to all areas of life. Your own inner relationship with yourself and your relationship with other human beings will determine what you attract and what you repel. And so whatever charges you embody, you cannot attract people that don't agree with you, who don't like you, who doesn't like your charge, who doesn't like how you think, who doesn't like what you believe. You can't attract them. You repel them. And you will attract people who think like you, who behave like you. And so if you clean up your own charge, your own thinking process, you enrich your mind and you move to the next level, this is also why you can't go back down. This is what also breaks relationship, is that when you ascend and you clean up yourself, your thoughts, you become a your higher vibrational self. The likelihood is that your old friends will say, you've changed. Now they cannot relate anymore. Now you are thinking differently. Now your energy charge pisses them off. The people who used to control you, they can't control you anymore because you are now you are operating at a different realm. This stuff is too deep, right? It's just you enjoy, you're laughing. Okay, good. I'm glad. Is this the good time to start talking about these things publicly? Do you think people are ready for this? Go on, please.
I said, that's so true. That's why they will say you are proud.
You are proud. What's wrong with
Yeah.
you? They can, because they don't understand you anymore. They cannot process you anymore with their own system, right? Their own belief, what they believe, because this is tied to agreements and disagreements. Agreements, disagreements is that when it comes to the advanced side of energetics, when I start talking about detachment and emotional freedom, do you know what the science of emotional freedom is? When you stop processing the thoughts, the negative thoughts of other people towards you or towards the world, when your system ejects and removes those thoughts and they now don't have any meaning to you anymore, that is detachment, emotional freedom, and you gain greater power in life if you can do that stuff. It's the most powerful thing ever in the world. Is that men, the attachment people have, the fear of man, what would they say? All of those fear is like you are tying a rope to yourself and those people, and they are tying you down. You see, hot air balloon, you can pump it with information, but until the rope that is tying it down to ground, until that rope is loosened, you don't fly to the heights of success. As long as you are still processing negative thoughts within yourself or negative thoughts originating from other people, society, nature, nurture, culture, friends, co-workers, whoever those people are, they give you dirty look. As long as their words, thoughts, and action, I'm trying to charge my phone. As long if you are in the video, you can see me. As long as you regard their thoughts and the words and you're processing those things in your own system, they will give you pain. Their thoughts inside you is not good for you. So whether those thoughts are yours or other people's thoughts, if it comes into you, it's corrosive, it will charge you up. But once you practice detachment and start removing these things, and you start applying forgiveness, gratitude, and you start emptying yourself of a lot of this stuff, your hot air balloon will fly. It will just, you will be rising. That's why I say if you work on yourself, life will promote you. God is looking for those he will promote, right? But this unclean stuff and blah blah blah, it just puts you in an energy field that even people who carry money, when they come to you, if they come, you have to know that they are experiencing your energy field. Are you pleasant? Are you kind? Are you so how are people experiencing you? And how are you experiencing people as well? So this is seriously tied to prosperity because there are certain emotional embodiments that those who achieve prosperity must embody, right? You must embody certain thoughts. You cannot be judging people. You cannot be charging yourself negatively towards people. You'll be repelling people, all kinds of people with money, people who can promote you. As long as you are processing thoughts inside, because you embody your own thoughts. You are carrying around your own thinking. The database which carries your thoughts is you. It's on you. Everywhere you go, you are carrying around your history, your destiny as well, your future. You are carrying you are carrying around all those thinkings. You think yesterday you were talking about your boss, you were talking negatively about your boss in your bedroom last night with your spouse. You charge yourself up for 3 hours. My boss is this, my boss is this. Can you believe he said this? Can you believe this? You charge yourself up negatively towards this boss. This morning, you showed up to the workplace. You put a smile on your face. You forget to clean up your energy field. You don't know that boss. When he sees you, he knows you don't like him. You're supposed to brush your teeth every morning, shower. Part of showering your energy field is, and part of this is spiritual practice where you pray in the morning. You're supposed to be praying in the morning, praying in the night. It's part of the shower. But 3 hours yesterday, you were raking, you were spewing negativity about your boss. But you forgot to say, God, forgive me. I'm so sorry. You forgot to clean it up with positivity. Now you showed up to the workplace. Now you're expecting that boss to promote you. He can't promote you because you are still charged. He can read your charge towards him. You've polarized yourself negatively towards that man. And so that man cannot reward you. You cannot be insulting people. You cannot be negatively charging yourself towards people and then expect those people to be the people God will use. Even if God says, promote this person, that guy will struggle because he will have a long list of reasons why you don't deserve the promotion. These are the reasons people are not promoted. I think yesterday I realized, when I started sharing some things yesterday, I realized people were shocked and surprised by the things I'm saying. I was like, whoa, okay, let me be dropping this. Take my class, you will change your life forever. You become more successful pretty much because success is in your hands. What you do with your own thoughts and your own body and your own energy field is going to determine if you are likable, if people are attracted to you, if people want to give you good things, if people are really, you are magnetically charged for good things, or you've charged yourself for the worst thing. Like, this stuff is so advanced. I'm just trying to dose it little by little, as people's appetite can take for now. So I'm trying to walk away. I'm trying to wrap this up because I feel like maybe some people are like, whoa, what's Tori talking about? Join the Quantum Leap Academy. Educate yourself, right? Develop the skills for success. Mr. Boss said, parting words. You see, you did the again.
It's a lot. It's so deep. That stuff is so deep. Yeah, thank you so much, Coach, for this. This is really it's everything. It cut across family, business, and even personal life and relationship with probably loved ones and stuff like that. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even tell you.
It, no?
I didn't even tell you about faith. The connection to faith, spirituality, your relationship with God is tied to this thing.
Yes, because if you do all this work, you'll be well mentally. In fact, it will teach you to expect anything from people, know how to handle people. Like you said the other time, that when you understand emotion, you have empathy on other people that have not done this work. So instead of you getting angry, you're just like, oh, sorry.
Oh, yes. And also, by the way, ultimately, spirituality, ultimately, when God talks about love, it's tough to love when you're still not processing your emotions, because if your emotions is negatively charged, that's going to be your behavior. That's how you're going to act in real life. And love, what I found now, this is super, super advanced. What I found is that love emerges when you stop, okay, looking to man. When you stop looking to man for your emotional needs. When you stop fighting people, because most of this negative emotion comes from you want something, you don't know how to get it, and you're blaming somebody, and you're telling a story that is a lie. It's a relation. When people have relationship with stories of lies, I don't have this because I can't do this. Nobody's helping me because it's this. The problem is the government. The problem is this. This, that. You are creating anxiety, and Bible says, "Do not be anxious for anything." So people are creating emotions, reactions of anxiety in their body, and this thing is not good for the organs of your body. Trust me, facts. Right? The organs of your body benefit from good emotion. You'll be well. God sent a word, and right, it made you heal. Like, the thoughts you are processing in your mind can make you well or make you sick. This is, again, I'm just dropping super advanced stuff and dropping it out there. Pick it up, use it to scrub and wash. These are the soap, right? Soap for washing and cleansing ourselves. Okay. Excuse me. So ultimately, we can love people when we don't depend on people for our emotional needs. When you actually depend on God, you see, it actually strengthens your relationship with God. When you see Him as your source and you trust Him that everything you need is inside you and He can make all things work together for your good. That even the things you are reacting to, that you are thinking negatively about, it could be something that God is permitting to help you grow and ascend to higher levels. God can use anybody to force you to grow, to pinch you. You remember the pruning? Jesus said He will prune so you can bear more fruit. What is He going to use to prune you? He's going to put you in states where you are dysregulated. This boss. He wants to teach you a skill, a life skill that you need for your future. But as long as you are negatively talking about your boss, the positions where God has put you, the responsibilities God has given you, the marriage He has given you, the kids He has given you, the job He has given you, the business He has given you, as long as you are handling it with corrosive hands and emotions, God doesn't, you are complaining. He's not going to give you more of those things. So even this is connected to divine relationship with your creator, is that you're supposed to be happy and saying thank you, Lord, and appreciating everybody in your life and stop complaining about them and receiving them and enjoying them as they are, because you didn't create them. God created these people and you are busy poking God's people and come and labeling them. This person is bad, this person is good. You're telling God his people are look at me. You don't know that God can use anybody He wants to use to knock on your door and give you blessings. You don't know that. So you are condemning people based on your own thinking. Advanced stuff. And God is watching you, because all the imperfect people in the world, they have money in their hands. Oh. Your boss is imperfect, but he can promote you. Everybody that God will still use to bless you, for you to be prosperous, is these people that you are complaining about. So if you don't fix your people relationship, you are not giving God much option on who to use. Because if those people come to you, you are like, not good, not good, not good. He talks this way. You are dissecting people and you are condemning them and you are judging them. Instead of you focusing on what is in your hands that God can use to bless me. Instead of seeing that, listen, every person is carrying a blessing. Every person has something. There is God in them. You see, pride is part of the problem. It's a negative charge. You can see somebody and say this person is proud. They charge themselves through a way of thinking, a pattern of thinking that says they are better than you. You can read it. We can see all those things. Do you want to see? Do you want to hang out with that person? Do you want to help that person? Because proud people are saying they don't need any help. So even when helpers come into the zone, see, these proud people will now go to church and say, God help me. But they are negatively charged, emitting this energy. I'm good by myself. I don't need any help. I'm fine. I'm this and that. God is trying to answer your prayers, but you are emitting negativity. When helpers now see that person who is going to help somebody that says they don't need help, you walk away. You go back to God and say, this person is full of themselves. They don't need any help. If we try to help them, they look down at us. Why would we help them? Negativity. Negative charge sometimes can stop prayers, because the people God will use to answer your prayers, they're still people. And if those people sit next to you and you're like, you charge them, they run away. And you don't know that the person sitting next to you can bless your life. Again, I'll drop that advanced stuff. So how are you processing your emotions? Because if you don't process these things and let them go, you don't forgive, you're still carrying anger, these you don't forgive. See, listen, you can forgive and still have boundaries. You can forgive people and still create boundaries. That's also advanced stuff. But if you don't process it, how would you know what people are doing that you don't like and they keep repeating, and you give them space and say, until you fix that stuff, just don't worry. I love you. I appreciate you. However, what you are emitting is not healthy. So you can create boundary for unhealthy, toxic relationship. It doesn't mean you don't love them. It doesn't mean you don't care about them. Right? It doesn't mean that. But these are the advanced stuff. It's rightly dividing the word of truth. Many people will swallow the fish and the bone and they choke themselves instead of discerning. Okay, how do you create this meaningful life that helps you to become who God wants you to be? Did you say, have you shared your parting words? I know I asked you parting words, but then you said something that made me say something, and then every time you say something, I'm like coming back at right.
Yeah. Each time you talk, I just have something to say, and you pick it up from there.
That's what's going on.
Like what you just said just now, right? You said if you do this work very well, you won't have so much expectation, and if you don't have expectation, you won't be disappointed. And if you're disappointed, you know how to handle it. The same thing is if you do this work. Ooh, I'm having a call.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm having a call.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Yeah. So you talked about faith the other time that if you really know God, you will not attach your love or your, I don't know how to say it now, to people, your source of existence or your life source on somebody. You place it on God. You trust God than trusting people. So as a
Yeah.
result, if you don't really trust them, if they
Yeah, let God be. I know. Okay, we are doing that thing again. Let God be the one that decides who He wants to use, and let people come in and out as they please. Once you start attaching, oh, this person, you start saying, this person did this to you. You start labeling, and it creates negativity. Anything that charges you up negatively towards people, towards life, you have to be careful about those thought processes. Anything that makes you say, this person is not giving me this person is not doing this person is not doing that, complaining, whining, anything that you don't know that you are using your own energy field to create toxicity in your own self. That's what I'm trying to say, is that, but when you leave it all to God, there are some prayers you will pray. You just say, like, I don't get this, I don't understand this person. God bless them. But right now, I'm not processing anything. I hand it over to God. You will start learning how to hand things over to God, because one of the things I've also been trying to teach people is your mind does not have this capability to know right from wrong, good or bad. Remember, knowledge of good and evil in the Bible, Genesis 1. God did not design the mind to discern. That's why Bible says there's a way that seems right to a man, but the end is destruction. What you think is right may turn out wrong. What you think is wrong may turn out right. The mind does not have the intelligence to do that. But your spirit does. The spirit that knows the heart of God knows what is right for you and what is wrong for you. That's why you have to turn to the Holy Spirit to discern for you, to be leading your life. You don't know who is good for you or bad for you. These things are true in relationship, marriages, or what job should you take? Who should you work for? Who should you be in partnership with? Who should you marry? Who should you do, right? All these questions, a mind will be trying to answer this question, but that mind does not know tomorrow. That mind does not know this person, but the Spirit of God can pick better for you. That's why I'm saying, as long as you are trying to use your mind to solve complex spiritual issues, energetic issues, it doesn't have the intelligence, because it is drawing from the intelligence you gave to it, and you are not smart enough. I'm very direct. This is part of humility. When you realize the brilliance and spiritual intelligence of the divine Holy Spirit, you will go to Him more, not go to the flesh. Because the flesh is the one that creates all these reactions, but it is using a database that is heavily flawed. There are more advanced things in the Bible that I break down in the Abundant Life. There's a session I'm going to be hosting. There are certain things in the Bible I want to explain to Christians more on this topic. It's very, very deep. I'm just trying to elevate it in a way that people can still follow me, right? Publicly. I don't have to be quoting scriptures now, but I have a resource that breaks things down scripturally, right? Available in my school, right? And we're going deeper into that. We're going deeper, because this is one of the reasons you have to be careful what you are trying to use your mind to solve. It cannot solve some complex life equations but your spirit can solve it. Who should you marry? Your mind, no matter how smart you look at, oh, this person has a car, this person looks like this person looks like that, so they must be the right. But look at the Bible. The Bible will tell you Saul, the king, because he was tall, above, right? People said, this is our king. But eventually they picked somebody God rejected. Parents didn't think David would be the king, but the person you didn't think is the king is the one the king that God chose. So if you're a Christian, make sure you're not using your mind to attempt to solve complex things. It doesn't have, can lead you astray and you'll be feeling good, but going off the cliff. Dangerous territories. Okay, so this is part of why this is so important. Again, I know I've multidimensional side of this topic. You can see that it's very robust, very intense. Ultimately, however, my challenge to you, my encouragement to you is that you develop this skill that will help you process your own emotions so that you can navigate your own internal and external life in a successful way. And those are the classes available in my school, toyinumesiri.academy. So I invite you to come and learn, come and become my students, right? Come and learn all these complex, advanced things that will change your life, because you are going to attract greater levels of success when you do this inner work. That is actually what it is. You will attract, right? Don't you like good, kind people, generous people? Everybody gathers around good, kind, generous. These are the principles of prosperity. And everybody runs away from wicked people that are not. Even the wicked can prosper if they are generous. Advanced stuff. You see, if they are good to their own people, they will attract a certain people. That's why some wicked people can rule nations. Why? Because they know how to be generous to the people who are loyal to them. I just dropped another one. Go and process that. If you wonder why do wicked people rule or how did they rule, they know how to scratch my back and scratch. They form their own group of like thinkers. That's why the Bible says, blessed is the man who doesn't sit in the council of the ungodly. You don't know there's a council of ungodliness. There's a council of ungodly people. Yes, they form council and they will be determining how to do ungodly things. And so godly people must gather as well. We must come together and say, okay, how do we do life God's way? Because there are always options. Just like I shared, there are many people teaching manifestation. They will tell you there's no God. You should be talking to the universe, not realizing, yes, God designed the world to listen to your voice. Again, that's another advanced stuff. But it is the universe God designed. It is the world God designed. It's the realm God designed. It is the mind God designed. Our job is to learn what God has designed and to work within the principles that God has laid out for us. So as Christians, that's what we do. Don't follow those who say, oh, there's no God. There is God. There is God. So thank you, everybody. I'm going to close out now.